Hey folks, AJ the CEO here. Let me get myself straight here. I'm too far back. Thank y'all all for joining, and sorry I'm trying to get everything set up here, make sure sound is good and all this other fun stuff. Thank y'all so much for joining, and if you looked at my recent video where I did a review of a field monitor, that's why you see me keep looking up like this. Thank y'all all for joining me. I told you I was gonna come with another video, so to compensate for Friday that I missed. And give me 1 second, I need to turn the fan on because it is hot here. Where is my fan at? I don't know. Anyway, we are playing around with vMix, so I should be able to put y'all's questions up on the screen. Thank y'all for joining me. I hope y'all are doing great. Hello, 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 and hello to everyone. I need to stop looking up so I can actually just focus here on the screen. Again, AJ the CEO. This is where we're going to do some Q&A to answer some of y'all's questions and everything like that. Like I said, I have vMix up, so we should be able to kick off and show your comments on the screen. So like, for example, if I do this, we're going to say, hello, Dennis James. We'll be able to see you there. And I need to slide my stuff over here so I can turn that off on commands. So thank you so much. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. And my apologies if I pronounce your name wrong. Hello, Lonnie. She's saying, help. I am stuck using my M50 with HDMI. Oh, first off, before I even say this, I'm still in a little bit of tooth pain. So if you see me sip or I'm actually, I'm a gargle here for the pain. So I'm gonna make sure I do that off camera because I know that's nasty. But thank y'all for the people who send out prayers, ask for concerns and all this other stuff. So yes, it's still a dull pain. Not as bad as it was, but we're going to be finally visiting the dentist on Wednesday. That's when they finally called me back. So we're going to be taking care of that. So I'm going to try and be PC, but I'm just letting y'all know. All right, so let me go back to this comment here. Lonnie was saying, help, I'm stuck using my M50 with HDMI to cam link to the Mac, but don't have any sound. Want to use a headphone jack lapel. What's the rig? Lonnie, based off, and my Ryzen touch is off right now, but with the Mac, you specifically need to make a audio input that points to that, and I think that should work. I have a cam link that I will test out later to give you 100% answer for that. So hopefully that helps. And let me know, folks, if y'all in the comments, if you'd like how this new layout is. I'm still playing around with this. And again, before you ask, this is vMix. This is the $60 version that I had for quite a while and really haven't been using it. But it helps put up y'all's comments a lot easier than before. Anthony here saying loves the music. Thank you. This is from Epidemic Sound or Epidemic Music. I can't remember which one. It's in the description of where I get all my music from. And let's go to the next one. Damie, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I have some questions about using OBS. I would say fire away. Let's go to Simon Banks here, and I need to mute. Simon Banks here. What camera would you use as a main close-up and then two others to show the full stage from either side and then be able to zoom in on the speaker? First off, Simon, I need some more detail. How far away is this? Circle back with me and we'll be able to get that question. Let's see. Coach Manny I'm still struggling with sound when it comes to OBS and Zoom and live feed to Facebook. Is there a simple way to do all of this? Yes, it is. You need to make sure in OBS that you are capturing desktop sound. Because anything that's coming over desktop sound, that's going to come out through your speakers. And then what you're going to do is, because it's coming out to speakers, you need to send that to Zoom, and that's going to be your output. I would try and do a follow-up video, especially with the Ryzen on how to do that. Like I said, sorry for all the sips and stuff like that. And like I said, I might have to get some mouthwash. It kind of numbs out the pain there for a little bit. Let's go to our next question. Back to Damien here, and I keep hitting the button too fast. I am trying to do a test stream on OBS after following a video, but when I transition to live and turn the music off, you can still hear the music for some reason. Yeah, it depends on how your music is being played. If you are playing it, I like adding music to OBS as a media source, and when you have a scene set up, you set up a scene just like in a movie. You set up everything, all your props the way you want to, and then when you go to the next scene, it's different. So in my scenes, when I have on my computer, what I do is, and let me bring this up real quick. We can cut over here so you can actually see how this is going. I'm waiting for my media one to show up. All right, so let's go ahead and cut over here. So here in my scenes, and there we go. In my scenes over here, and actually I'm in the way, so let me move over this way. So in my scenes right here, see, we have starting soon where we have music playing, and that's coming here from our intro, and it's going to be playing here like this way. Let me mute desktop sound. So this is how everything is going, but when we switch over to streaming, when we're going to our camera, see, I do not have that media source in here at all. So if I had this on, you know, and that's not really even the right media source, see, I don't have anything. So what it makes me think that either you're capturing the desktop sound and it's carrying through all of your scenes. That's what I think, but I need a little bit more info on that to really give you a proper answer for that. Webcasting tips, hello. And we have AJaytheCEO style. What lapel mic are you using? Looking to get one for my pastor who has a nice sized beard. I am using the Rode Wireless Go with the lapel extension. So that's what I have right there. Really nice. There's only just an on and off button. So everything would need to be controlled from the media booth. But I really like it, and a lot of other churches who've seen it have asked me the same thing. Smith Simeon, hey, don't worry about it, man. There's no problem with being late. Thanks for joining. Streets of Destiny, hello, hello. How are you doing? Claude Floyd wants to know, what is the way to connect the A10 Mini to a DVD player? Honestly, you should just have to just connect it over HDMI, but I don't want to get into the security of everything. Sometimes you can't play it because of the HDMI handshake and HDCP or whatever it's called. You should just be able to just connect it over HDMI. If you don't, there are ways around it. I don't want to go over that because I don't want to give any instructions on how to break stuff and make it illegal, but there are ways. To be quite honest, the easiest way is play it from a computer and then hook the computer's HDMI into the A10 Mini, and that will work. Let's see. Caleb, how much performance increase can I expect from a Ryzen 7 over a Ryzen 5? Purpose is for streaming and editing. It will be noticeable. You'll be able to render faster. So for the folks that didn't know, I started doing all of our church stuff on an FX8320. Our church service was about 2.5 hours long, and when I used to render that thing, it took about 4 to 5 hours to render the entire service. That's when I was making DVDs. When I went to the Ryzen 7 1700, that went from taking 5 hours to render to an hour. Then when I subsequently went from the Ryzen 7 1700 to the 2700, it dropped down to 30 minutes. Now I'm on a Ryzen 9 3900X, and now I can render everything in about 5 to 15 minutes. So from 5 to 7, it all depends which 7 that you're getting, because my streaming system that's streaming this right now is a Ryzen 5 3600, and it renders well. So I don't know. It all depends on the length and whatever effects that you're adding that will be very noticeable. But honestly, it will be faster because you have more cores and you'll be able to process a little bit more. From a streaming standpoint, you probably won't hit a lot of CPU utilization if you're using the CPU to use that, or if you have a dedicated graphics. Just don't know with that. Smith Simeon is asking, any other softwares for recording on PC except for vMix and OBS? There are a bunch. Streamlabs, OBS, you have StreamYard, you have the built-in one for Windows. If you're using Windows, it actually has the Xbox recorder. I think you hit the Windows key and the letter G, and that will do the same type of thing. And again, my apologies for that. Doing all this drinking of some Crystal Light. Anthony, how can I get my CPU percentage out of the 20% range when streaming and recording? Well, that all depends on what are you using for your encoding, because you have an encoding setting in OBS for your streaming, as well as you have one for recording. So if I clear this, let's go back over here. So for me, if you go here into settings, into your output, see, you have an encoder that you can set here, which is I'm using my graphics card. And then I am also, sorry, it was just a sharp pain just hit for a second. You also have an encoder here for your recording. Both of mine are set to my graphics card. I have a RTX 2070, and I don't hit anything really going over this. And I'm looking over at my vMix system right now. My CPU on vMix, which is a Ryzen 5 3600, is at 1%, but everything is on the GPU. So it's kind of hard to say, but I would say check those settings if you're trying to get lower than that. All right, Streets of Destiny. I tested live streaming while recording, no frames drops, audio was good, but video was choppy, looked like photos. Now, I guess Streets of Destiny, what was your CPU utilization looking like? And I really need to stop looking at this field monitor. I need it to be right in line with this, the lens, because I have the habit of looking up here. Yeah, it all depends what's your CPU utilization. And sometimes it'll get choppy because of the internet. I don't know where you're streaming to. Facebook had a lot of problems this Sunday. A lot of people said that as well, so I don't know. The man, hello. Coach Manny was saying, okay, got you, use desktop audio a lot more. Okay, cool. Also, he was saying, do you have a recommendation, voice meter banana, or voice meter potato? Honestly, I've never used one of those, so I can't really give a recommendation for that. So sorry about that. Richard Scotchfield II would like to know, when I'm using the A10 Mini, I am getting buzzing sound using stereo quarter out of my DAW to 3.5 millimeter on the A10 Mini. How can I get rid of this buzzing sound? Well, my question would be is with the A10 Mini, do you have it set to mic or line in? You might be getting, if it's mic, it might be a little bit too hot, and you might want to switch it over to a line in so you don't get that buzzing, or you might need to check the cable, but I'm thinking it might be that setting at first. You want to play with that. So if I come over to the screen here so we can see that, let's clear that, switch over here in our mic settings. So this is mine right now that you're seeing right now. Mic 1 is set to my Rode Wireless Go. Mic 2 is set to my Yamaha mixer. So if I come over here to my settings in audio in general, see, I have number 1 as my mic, number 2 is my line in. You might want to check that, because if I did mic for this with my Yamaha, it would be very, very loud. So I would say check that. Hopefully that helps. Back to Simon Banks saying that the distance is about 15 feet to the center stage and 25 on either side. It all depends on your budget. If you have a nice, decent budget, I would honestly go with the Panasonic V770, or if you have a budget of $1,000 for each, I would honestly go with the Canon Vixia G50s. I really like that. At my church, I used the G20s when they were available. I like that. If you want to go with a PTZ, I would go with Ada Imaging. That's what I really like. And that's a 20X or even a 12X would be fine for that distance. Which goes into Evan kind of asking that same question. Any thoughts on PTZs? I like them. I really, 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 really like the Ada Imaging ones. Great quality, great people as well over there. They're very responsive. I'm actually using the Ada Imaging for my overhead camera, which is not on. Let me turn that on real quick. Overhead on. I really like them. So let's clear this out and let's go over here. I like them, and they've added some NDI stuff in there, but for their camera, their PTZs are nice. They actually now, I was using the ones that were over serial. These are now IP based, really nice, very good in price. You're talking about maybe $1,100 to $1,400, so about $150 cheaper than the PTZ optics. If you go to YouTube and look up Good Shepherd Baptist Church in Richmond, Virginia, that's a install that I did that's using the first generation of their PTZ cameras, which has great image quality there, so you can always check those out. But I do really like those because, again, I don't recommend anything that I haven't personally used. Let's go here to Jonathan here, and he would like to know, what are good ways to fade in animated lower thirds in OBS? Fade in, then fade out. Honestly, for me, I would set these up. If you have the video coming in, if you make your lower third, and I'm sorry, I have my eyes closed because this side, my face hurts. If you were doing that, what I would do is set my lower third onto a different scene. Have one scene with your camera, another scene with the camera and your lower third that's been properly keyed, cropped, whatever to fit it, and then let OBS do it that way. So when you click on the scene with your lower third, it will fade in and out, for you. I think that would work best, and that's what I would kind of recommend for that. All right. Sean and Kumar, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. What is the best DSLR camera under 25,000 RS for church live streaming? Honestly, I don't know. I really don't mess with DSLRs that much, and then the conversion, I don't know what that price range is. I would think some of the, it's kind of hard for me to say that because the only DSLR I have is a Nikon D50-300. That's what I personally have, and I've never really messed with any other DSLRs, so it's kind of hard for me to say. Me personally, if I was to recommend one, it would be the GH4, GH5 Panasonic, because you can go for a long period of time with those cameras. And a lot of people use those, like Paul's Hardware uses those, and a bunch of other people have used those. Those are nice. Now, if not for necessarily for a DSLR, you could look at the Sony ZV-1. That's a blogger's camera, but it gives you good performance, and you can hook that up into some type of capture card, and that would work as well too. I think that would work. So yeah. So sorry, it's like the tooth pain has transferred. Tooth isn't hurting now, and it's just I got a pain right here, right behind my eye. So anyway, let's keep powering through. Simon Banks, we have been thinking about using the GoPro 7 and 2.7K 34 and linear settings. I don't know what you're using that for. Honestly, stay away from the GoPro 7. I do not like them for live streaming. That's just me personally. I've had too many issues with the GoPro. I've had a GoPro 4, and then especially with my A10 Mini, it's been a nightmare hooking it up to any type of switcher without some type of stabilizer to stabilize the frame rate. I just don't think it's worth it. That's just me. Joden TV says, I really want to know more about using OBS Studio. Okay, well, throw your question, and I don't really promote it that much, even though it's in my description. Depending on what you're using it for, I would honestly recommend my complete live streaming 101. I go over a lot of that, but I still have other videos sparsed out throughout my channel talking about OBS Studio, but I need some more detail on what exactly you want to know with it. Kyle Nelson, is our A10 Mini Pro cache yesterday, is that based on our upload speed, or could it be Restream's intake? Well, that could also be depending on what's going on, because yes, it could be Restream. I've had some other people that had the A10 cache out. I had the same thing with mine, but it wasn't with my internet, even though it could be. What happened with me is Facebook was having a problem, and that's why it was caching, because it wasn't establishing a connection with Facebook. So that might be the issue there. So check that out. Let's see. Damien, when using OBS, are the sources in all my scenes supposed to be the same or different? They're different, or they could be the same. It's up to you. I want you to think about this is scenes and sources. Your scene is just like a scene in a movie. Meaning the scene is, oh, I have this actor, I have this person, I have this prop, I have this, I have that. That is your scene. So you could use the same thing across the board or not. Like in my scenes, when I started this, I have background music and I just have my graphics. That's what I have in one of my scenes. And the scene I have right now is nothing but my camera. And then when I bring up the effects or the text that you're seeing right now, the comment, that is another scene, another source that's adding that in. It's all depending on how you want to set it up. All right, Daryl, native here to Richmond, right up the street from me, using a Samsung digital camcorder to OBS. Camcorder switches to playback. What would you recommend to upgrade the camcorder? Now, first, this issue is because some of the older camcorders and even DSLRs do this. It considers when you're hooking this up to a capture card or a switcher, it thinks it's hooking up to a TV, so it naturally switches over to playback, and that's not what you want to do. Again, most of the cameras that I like are ones that I personally use, and I've been to their church, his church, and again, I would think the Panasonic V770 because of the distance. I think the distance from where the media booth is, where the camera is going to be, to where the pulpit is about 25 to 35 feet. that would work great. Or you might want to get the 4K version of that. That would work for you as well. All right, Anthony says, thanks. We're going to check that. Cool. Let's go to Smith Simeon. I need to enable H.265 on vMix for M.4 recording because H.264 video was too pixelated. I'm not sure on that because I can't really bring up vMix right now because I'm using it and I only have a license. Once I open this up, it's going to throw some error because, oh, it's already activated. So I'm going to have to circle back on that one. Let's see. All right, back to Richard. He's saying that his ATEM is set to, for the input where he's getting buzzing, is saying it's set to line in. All right, honestly, I would say probably play around with the cables, or depending on the type of sound, make sure it's not a grounding issue with the other devices that you have, whether it be the mixer or anything like that. Check that, and if it's not, we might have to look into something else. Kyle, I asked Restream if they had problems with Facebook or YouTube yesterday. They said it's because our bit rate was high, was up and down, but I think, hold on, let me see. Y'all can't see. I need to update this so more text shows up on here. But I think ATEM Mini Pro throttles bit rate intentionally. It all depends. In the ATEM Pro, you have a setting that will tell you the range of the bit rate it will go to. So yes, it may throttle, but I don't think it would do it that much. And the only reason I say that is because there were people who don't own an ATEM Mini Pro that were saying that they were having problems with live streaming to Facebook on Sunday. So I don't really think it's a Restream thing. I think it was probably a Facebook thing. So that's my thoughts. Back to Anthony. I have the Ryzen 3 with the CPU and GPU built in. What would you recommend? Would you recommend adding a graphics card as well? It all depends. I mean, you might want to look into what bit rate. Yeah, what bit rate do you have your video at? Mine is at 4,000 and it handles fine. But if you do go to a discrete graphics card, I mean, you can go as low. At my church, we're using an RX 550 and it works fine. That's what we were using. And I'm using now a GTX 1050, but for the same price you can get a 1050, you can probably get a 1650. You can think about something like that for an addition. Streets of Destiny, and I'm gonna do something while I'm here. Let me bring up some stuff over here. Streets of Destiny, OBS CPU showed about 30%. The recording was the same. I believe I have to increase memory. How much memory do you have on your system there, Streets of Destiny? Please let me know. And what I want to do here for a quick second, and hopefully I don't not show too much information here. Let me get my screen set up. And there's a train awesomely coming by. Audience, let's check this out. So what I want to do, and this isn't just for me, this is for all of your favorite YouTubers that you follow. It is really recommended to make sure that you subscribe. So like right now, out of everybody who's watching my stuff, 76% of the people are not subscribed. This is important because when you subscribe and you like videos and things like that, it helps the YouTube algorithm to send these videos to other people who may be looking for similar things. So if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you like, and also turn on notifications, and then share these videos if you think it will be helpful to any other churches out there. You know, not necessarily for me to grow like that. It's more of like to just help other people, because again, most of y'all found this because other people liked and subscribed, and that's how you were able to find my channel. So thank you for that. All right, we got a question from the man. How can I improve my video quality to 1080p on OBS? My settings is set on the following. Rescale output to 1080. FYI, I only record. Base resolution is that output resolution is 1280 by 720. Well, you need to change your output resolution to 1080p. And then also, what is your bit rate for your video? You might want to check into that as well too. I think that's the only thing you really got to change. Change that output to 1080p as well, and then up your bit rate, especially if you're recording, because honestly, try and push it as high as you can. I mean, technically, my computer can actually do a bit rate of 15,000, and even the Ryzen 3 3200G can actually do that, but I don't have it that high because it's your internet. Try and crank it up as high as you can, or also look at what quality are you using for recording. You can change it there as well too. Tammy Lewis, hello. Where is a good place or site to go learn the Behringer X32 and set up for OBS? Well, Tammy, I would tell you like this. If you know one, please tell me, because I had a nightmare trying to set up the X32 compact at 5th Street because there wasn't anything that easily walked you through that. When I get back down there, because actually I was supposed to be there today, finished doing the setup with that, but tooth pain, I didn't want to drive 2 hours and get hit with something, then I'm stuck on the side of the road, curled up like a little baby. I will walk through what I did when I get that done, but honestly, the manual hasn't helped. Try and reach out to somebody like Sweetwater is the people that I call to help out, and I have another friend who actually does this stuff professionally. I was able to bounce questions off of them. Hopefully, if I can get them, they're really busy right now, I can bring them in and maybe we can have a video and talk about that to help out. Back to Damien. Can I add lyrics and Bible scriptures using OBS and Easy Worship, or should I use ProPresenter instead? Honestly, you can use either one. My church, we started with Easy Worship, then we moved to Worship Extreme, to ProPresenter, but then Worship Extreme. It doesn't really matter. Any of them will work. It's all in your setup. I do have a video on my channel specifically talking about setting up OBS and Easy Worship, as well as ProPresenter, as well as Worship Extreme. So yes, you can. Niners fans for life. Hello. Happy Monday. Hello, hello. There. All right. We have Kelly here. Can I move a capture card between two locations? We stream from our church and want to stream from our family center. Now, what do you mean by can I move a capture card? Because, yes, you can. Are you talking about you want to stream from another location? Let me know about that one. All right. Simon Banks. Get better soon. Thanks for all your help. Thank you. Thank you. From Finland. Awesome. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Back to the man. What cameras do you prefer for quick shot angle views? We already have a good camera for the main angle. Budget is not very big. Honestly, this overhead camera, the Ada Imaging HD 100A, was around $280. If you just need a still shot for video, that's what I like, and because it's really easy and straightforward. D, praying for you. Feel better soon. Thank you, thank you. Another one of our For Me Media Group family. And if y'all are watching and y'all are not a part of the Facebook group, please join that. It is awesome. It is like this Q&A session 24/7, to where you got people from all over the planet who are doing the same thing in media ministry for their given church in ministry. And it's just an awesome community. And it's not just a Facebook community, it's a family. And it's really cool. And you can get your questions answered, questions answered, and stuff like that. All right, graphics by Winnie Inc. I have a client who has the highest Wi-Fi available, but we keep losing our signal when live streaming. when live streaming by Ethernet. Any suggestions? I don't understand that. The highest Wi-Fi available, and we keep losing our signal over Ethernet. Need a better description of that, because if you're on Wi-Fi shouldn't have anything to do with you connecting over your Ethernet. That sounds like if it's losing connection, then that's losing the connection back to your router. I need a little bit more info on that one to help you with that one. Back to Lanny. Thank you for the prayer. I really appreciate that. It's doing good right now. I think it might be an abscess or something like that. I don't know. But thank y'all so much. It really means a lot that y'all are concerned, and just showing the comfort, the prayers, and everything. I really, really appreciate that. We're back to I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong. Here, I have a Sony HDR CX405 camcorder, and I'm trying to do live streaming with it using a capture card. Will it work, or should I buy a new camera? Honestly, any camera will work. That's actually similar to the one that I have at my church right now. So yes, that will work perfectly fine. And honestly, any camera will work as long as you have a clean HDMI out. So you should be good. Otis, what is going on? We had bitrate issues to YouTube, but not Facebook. Yeah, now Otis, are you going directly to YouTube, or are you using kind of like a service like Restream or something like that? But all I do know, there was something going on Sunday, because there was way too many people who've talked about that they were having issues with stuff there. And also, let me know, do y'all like this layout now that y'all can see the your chat and your comments? I think that's kind of cool. And let me come over here and crank up how many characters can be displayed. Maybe that will work better here. Mark Carter. Now, I'm going to call out Mark right now. He shared their church's live stream when we had a thread to share your church live stream, because we don't always do that because we don't want to inundate the Facebook group. Their stuff is awesome. Mark, please drop a link into your church's channel to show. Their stuff is awesome. Like, they do like an intro with hosts and everything. I mean, it's awesome. I showed my church that, and we're going to start trying to implement that as well. Awesome stuff. But let me get to this question. Need a recommendation for church lighting in a warehouse church that has fluorescent lighting, white drop ceilings, and 18 feet high, using the Canon XA15 cameras that are about 10 to 15 feet away. Well, Mark, you have reached my limit. I am not into lighting yet. I am still learning. So unfortunately, I can't give any recommendations outside of like what I'm doing right now. I'm using the Elgato lights here for what I'm doing here. So as in church lighting and stuff like that, unfortunately, I can't give you any recommendations of that because I haven't even used any myself. So sorry about that. But once we get some more in that, we will start talking about that. Or if I can find somebody that knows that, maybe I can bring them in and get some good recommendations. Anthony, my bitrate yesterday was set to 4,000. Okay, and I mean, that should be fine. What is your consistent upload speed? Does it fluctuate greatly? Let me know about that as well, too. Ronnie G1DC, what are you using to highlight a comment and show it on screen while live? I am using vMix, and vMix comes with, vMix Social, which is pulling from the chat that's live, and I'm triggering it to show. So like if I cut over here so you can see, and of course I changed this, so if I cut over here, this is what I'm seeing, and this is the web interface that's coming from vMix, and I'm just clicking on your comment, and I click send, and that triggers the send. So like I just hit this, and if I click on it again here and I hit send, that's what's making this pop up. So that's what I'm doing right now. So really like that. That's the reason I switched back to this for right now, because of the interaction. I think is cool. All right, the man here, and let me get my screen over here. Based on a previous question, bitrate is on 2500 because the PC at church, what they record can only handle at 2500 bitrate. So I have to put it also on a PC. Well, the bitrate honestly is for your stream. But like if we cut back over here to OBS and let's hide this and cut over here. So when you go to your settings and you're doing your output, see the bit rate is just for your streaming. The bit rate is not for your recording. So you can switch up to here and do lossless, which will give you a super big file in your computer. Like I don't even use that even though the system is there. And then you have indistinguishable, which is what I normally have, which is a large file, but the quality is good. And then you have same as stream. Doing this will use this same setting, or high quality. This has nothing to do with your bit rate. So I would say try and play with that. You shouldn't be limited to the system per se for this. This is more of, can it handle the recording? So I would say check that out there. Streets of Destiny is what kind of X32 setup? I am using USB-in to computer with OBS. I don't know if that question is to me or to somebody else, but the one I was installing was a X32 compact, and I was actually using, because we're using the ATEM Television Studio HD, I was doing XLR out into the ATEM ATEM Television Studio. That's what I was using. But for other people who've had this set up, they've used USB, and then for the input, they would either do a audio capture and then just point it to that, or with a different capture card using custom audio, you would just point it to the USB feed for that. Otis, do the ATEM Mini Pro have 4 independently inputs versus a deck-link quad? Do the ATEM Mini Pro have 4 independent inputs? As in, Otis, are you asking do they record each input? Because the ISO does that. Mine is the Pro and it doesn't. I do have 4 inputs, but it does not record. It only records the main mix going out. So let me know about that one. Back to the man. The question is, based on this, when the video is recorded on 2500 bitrate, can I record the same video with 6000? If you're not streaming and you set in OBS to use the same as your stream and then set it at 6000, yes. But honestly, try and put it to the highest one in your recording with OBS and see what you get. There is an advanced setting. I personally don't use that, but I'll have to circle back with you on that one. Jay Brooks, do you stream the OBS output back through the ATEM for encoding, or is your computer doing the encoding? Right now, my computer is doing the encoding. I am just using the ATEM Mini Pro as a glorified ATEM Mini because I sold the ATEM Mini and I bought the ATEM Mini Pro. So I only use the encoding for the ATEM Mini if I'm taking this with me to remote locations. If I'm here, my computer is always going to give better results than the ATEM Mini Pro. But the ATEM Mini Pro works well. I just use it. I'm using my computer to do the encoding because of all the extra features that doing software will allow me to do compared to the ATEM Mini Pro. And Daniel, what's your advice on live streaming at the same time to Facebook and YouTube using OBS? you can do that. We've actually started doing that more recently, just because of the influence of we want to just reach everybody on whatever platform is available. I use Restream. There's another one called Split Stream that somebody told me on one of these about. You got Mob Crush, you got Caster. We use Vimeo that allows us to restream because it's built in. So yeah, I mean, if you're doing it directly through OBS, now there is, I saw somebody did a video about this, and I haven't done this yet because I don't want to rehash, but there's another way inside of here. Where is it at? There is another way that someone showed how to do this. So in streaming, I think it was recording. I forgot where it was, but there was, oh yeah, here, under recording, you can change this, and I think this is it, that you can point this to a different location. And where is it? You know what? Check back in the description when this is over, and I'll point to it, where it shows how you can actually stream this to, oh, here it is. If you go to advanced and you go to recording, you can stream custom output, and then you can stream this to a URL, and then you can put the RTMP path of YouTube, Facebook inside of here, and with the stream key and everything, and you can actually in OBS stream to 2 different locations. But please be warned, just like with vMix, if you do it this way, your computer needs to be able to handle 2 distinct streams. So if you're streaming at 4,000 kilobits, you need to, your upload speed really needs to be able to handle 2 of those streams simultaneously. And that's how you can do that. Me personally, I haven't done that. That's why I haven't done a video about it. But there are plenty of people who have done that, and you can stream to 2 locations that way. Or technically, you can point that to Restream and point to another. Yeah, so yes, I do that, and it is possible directly in OBS, but you need to make sure your internet can support that. Back to the man, guys. I can literally agree with AJ on the media Facebook group. The support is 24/7. I've learned so much from the group. If you struggle with anything media-wise, the group helps. Thank you so much for that endorsement. Let's go back to graphics by Wayne Inc. We are directly connected to the router, but keep losing our signal when live streaming to Boxcast. I'm not 100% sure. I would say make sure that now when you're saying you're losing a connection, are you losing a connection to the Boxcast service, or are you losing a connection to the internet completely? That could be something completely different. It could be the cable is bad, the jack that you're plugged into is bad. If you're just losing the connection to Boxcast, but you can still go to anything else, that's something with Boxcast that's causing that problem. So let's go back to Coach Manny. What is the name of the Facebook group and community? It is Modern Media Ministry Made Easy. So if we cut over here, let's go over to the group here, and it should be in the description of the link as well too. Let me cut over here so y'all can see it. This is the group, Modern Media Ministry Made Easy. If you just search for that, and that's how you can get to it. Great group, great people, awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's go back over here to our next one. Jordan, are you using the A10 Mini Pro to live stream right now? No, I'm not. I'm using a computer, but it can live stream. I'm just not using it right now. So if we cut over here, so this is my A10 Mini Pro. I'm just using it for all of my connections, and the HDMI out is going into the capture card on my computer, and that's how you're doing it. So can I live stream? Yes, but I'm doing it this way because I can't do these graphics and all this other stuff in the ATEM, I'm using the vMix software to do that. All right, let's see. Simon Banks. Graphics, are you using a 4G network as a graphics? Are you using a 4G network? Oh, I'm sorry. This is a question, comment to somebody else. Okay, cool. Well, thank you. Kelly. Sorry, I hit enter before I finished. We stream from our church, but would like to stream from our family center. We have 2 cameras, but 1 capture card. Could we move the capture between the 2 locations? Yes, you should be able to do that. Should work perfectly fine. Back to Otis. We multicast from vMix to Facebook and YouTube using an NVIDIA 1080 Ti to encode the video. Okay. All right. Anthony, I got to check the church's upload speed. Yeah, let me know on that one. You can just hit me up in the Facebook group for that one. Holy Fire Tabernacle. Hello. What is the mixer name that can connect to OBS for a small church? Well, honestly, any mixer could work in OBS. Let me bring the box because that's going to be easier than me moving this. Oh. So the mixer that I am currently using right now is, I got the box upside down, is the Yamaha MG10XU. This is what I'm using, and it has USB out. So when I connect to the computer, I just connect it over USB and it shows up as an audio feed. That's what I use. The other Behringer that's in my chapel that I've been doing, that has USB, and I need to finish up that so that we can do that video and show you how everything is connected. You could do that, or any mixer will work if it has either 1/4 inch or XLR out. You can use like a USB audio interface and that will work. All right, final question, sir. Should I buy a Camlink 4K or an Elgato HD60S? In all honesty, go with the Elgato HD60S Plus over the Camlink. Camlink is fine, but the Elgato HD60S got a little bit more horsepower behind it. That's what I would think. Niners fan for life. Let me see. Why do they make it such a big mission to go live? Don't understand the context of what you're asking. Are you saying just from churches in general or the platform? Hold on. This thing jumped when I went to click on somebody. Jordan J1203. Hey AJ, any idea to turn the LCD screen guides on the Canon 70D to get a clean HDMI output with the A10 Mini Pro? I'm not 100% sure because I don't have a 70D, but I know people have used it, so it is available. I would say with that Canon, check out that camera webcam utility that Canon has dropped, and I think the 70D is one of those that works with it. I think that one inherently actually removes the guides. Don't quote me on that, but I think it does. I know some other people have used that. We have a question here. Please do a video on audio filters, plugins in OBS to add an EQ, make the audio and voices more clear. I will try. I honestly don't use this. That's why I do an external mixer to do this. I will see what I can do. I'm not making any promises, but I will look into that. Coach Manny. I'm about to upgrade to vMix, but still don't have a good understanding of audio and other. Should I master OBS before investing in vMix? Honestly, I would say yes. That's what I did. I ended up buying vMix because so many people were talking about it. So kind of like the whole point of my channel as well too. I went ahead and bought it. I invested $60 to test it out. And honestly, I've had it for 2 years, and this is the most I've actually used it. Because I'm trying to learn it because so many people have been asking me about it. So, but honestly, vMix in OBS honestly are exactly the same. vMix does give you this ability to do this, and it has some extra cool stuff there. And hold on, I'm going here to share Mark's comment because it was blocked. So I'm gonna share that back because I asked him to share it. But yeah, I would say honestly, work with that, and you'll know when it's time for you to move to that. And let me, okay, Mark's stuff is up here. So, all right, I think that's good. And I lost where I was at because of all the comments, which thank you so much for y'all being here and hanging out with me. Where we at? Where did we leave off? Man, this thing is, we got so many comments here. I'm missing where I'm at. Back to Jordan. It was saying, sorry, turn the LCD screen info off for HDMI. Yeah, I think it's the same thing. I don't have it, so I can't walk you through that specifically, but I think it does, that utility may help by turning that off for you. Dalen Lee, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, wants to know, do you recommend having a computer, well, hold on, let me do the second comment here. Do you recommend having a computer for presenting and one for streaming? If you have the budget for it, yes. At my church, we have the streaming system is itself. It does that itself. Like right now, in my setup, this is a streaming system that can do more things, but right now it is only live streaming. And it just makes, for me, it makes it easier because we've been in a position where one of our systems has gone down, and if everything is on that one system, then you are out of luck. With the way our systems are, because if something happens to that system, technically I can pop the card out or a USB card, just plug it into another computer, and we can keep rolling if need be. But if that system goes down, you don't have anything. YouTube identity, I don't know, that was funny. But anyway, it was saying, yeah, they were telling what the group is. Yep. For me, that's the short name, but when you search for it, it is Modern Media Ministry Made Easy. And it is a link there in the bottom. Otis. My question is, will the A10 Mini Pro show 4 different cameras inputs into vMix versus no, it will not. It will only show the one that's selected, kind of like right now. Like I have 4 inputs right now, but vMix only sees the one that I'm selecting. So if you needed something like that, the DeckLink Quad HDMI would be better because you could actually see, because it's really 4 capture cards built in, so you'll be able to see all of them. Next question, and I think I'm actually behind here. For multi-streaming to YouTube and Facebook, I personally use the plugin called Multiple RTMP Outputs. Okay, somebody has said that to me. I haven't had the time to look into that, but I will check that out. All right, and you're going to share that plugin with the group? Okay, cool. Anthony saying that he loves the group. Really appreciate that. Let's see. All right. Andrew, hello. How you doing? Are you a vMix fan? I don't want to say I'm a fan. Don't want to say I'm really an OBS fan. I just, hey, it suits the needs. So that's what I'm using right now because of it adds the features that I wanted to do this and makes it easier and more interactive with y'all. All right, Epic Nation, how can I set up a live stream that includes FaceTime and or Zoom? I use, Ecamm. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one. I was playing around with, I was using Ecamm on my Ryzen Tosh and just haven't circled back to that. So I can't really answer that yet because I don't know. I'm working on that. And finally, we're here to our comment of Mark. Check him out. Said really appreciate it. Thanks for the call out. We've learned a lot from the group. Please check out the services at GFCD Ministries on YouTube. And yeah, honestly, check their stuff out. I like what they're doing with their live stream. Really awesome. All right, we're to the Chuck Taylor, and he joined our, the other thing I'm gonna shout out real quick is every 2 weeks, we do a roundtable Zoom call, and it's open to anybody that's in the Facebook group, and it's really cool. This is where we, like I like to say, is all of us are in the hunt if you're in media ministry, and we're all doing the same thing. And it's an opportunity to, you know, I don't want to say bare your soul, but talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of what you're dealing with in your media ministry. And it's so comforting that whoever you're talking to on the call is doing the exact same thing that you're doing. So we get encouragement, everything like that, and that's awesome. And that's the reason I brought that up, because Chuck was one of the ones who was on that call, and I think that was the first time he participated in that, and it was really cool. So what he's saying is, when trying to stream via YouTube, I'm having to change the streaming key each week. It says variable. Is there any way to make it consistent like you have for Facebook? Yeah, it is. The variable is actually for the quality that's going up. So I can't show mine right now because I don't have a way to block everything so y'all don't get all my information in the back end of YouTube. But yes, there is a way. Like the key that I'm using for these, I have not changed, and it's always the same. So there is a setting. I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna see if I can post that on the Facebook group. But yes, there is a way to do that, so you don't have to change it every week. Caleb says, hey AJ, good work, thank you for what I'm doing. Hey, I appreciate it, and wants to know, what software are you using to push? Again, this is vMix. I'm using vMix, and vMix has a vMix social app that pulls from the comments on whatever platform. It actually can do Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and IRC, but I'm only pointing to YouTube right now, and that's what I'm using to do this. Streets of Destiny says, my iMac only has 8 gigs. Please add some more. Add some more. You should be able to add to that. I don't know which iMac you have, but you should be able to. Brian Woley, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. The Canon 70D doesn't give a clean HDMI out without taking off autofocus. Okay, so hopefully that's your answer. I don't know if you want to turn that off, but you'll be able to do it that way. Natalie Cooper, PTL. I would love to see a full video of pre-recorded and live through OBS and Zoom, sending feed to Facebook, YouTube, and website. Love watching you. Thank you. Well, Natalie, I'll tell you like this. Actually, you're already seeing that now. At the very beginning of these videos, I'm using pre-recorded stuff to do my music. The intro is pre-recorded, everything like that. And honestly, it works the exact same way. So like if I come over here and do my intro again, see, that's actually a video that was already recorded, and that's what you're seeing. So changing that to acquire, changing that to somebody else, I mean, that's literally what that's already doing. But I will try and work on something like that as well. Uh-oh, we got a awesome name here from Food Lover. I'm a food lover too. I learned from your channel and live now. Awesome. Emma. Hello, God bless you, brother. Bless you, brother, for the support of you doing Church Christ. I'm from Sudan. My question is, can I trust Amazon really with ATEM delivery up to my country? As long as you're getting it from a reputable seller, I think you should be good. I really think you should be good. If not, you can always check out, again, I don't know if they ship there, but you can check out DVE Store, Adorama, BH Photo, some of these kind of like big brand international ones if you're concerned about Amazon. Let's go over here to Sam. How do you find about live streaming recording from a Mevo camera? Well, first off, Sam, I don't use the Mevo, but I'll tell you right now, the Mevo, unless it's the newest model from what I heard, the Mevo does not have any way to connect. I mean, it streams all inside of it, or you have to use Vimeo's live stream stuff to use it, and that's the only way you can use it. I think the newer one allows you to connect to it, but how do I find out about it? I mean, yeah, it's not really a lot of info. I would say search out. I don't know anybody personally or any videos that come to the top of my head of people using that, but that's what I think. Andrew is saying, I've seen that vMix is more intuitive. Honestly, I think it's subjective. For me, I didn't go with vMix at my church, first off, because of the cost, because when we were getting started, we didn't really have a budget. But when I was thinking about switching to it, if I still use the Stream Deck kind of like how I'm using, then it would be transparent. Honestly, I like OBS over that. But again, I think I'm not hating vMix, not loving OBS and vice versa or anything else. I just got the software that based off it was easier for me to train, and that's what our media ministry is accustomed to. If I tried to change it right now, it would be a riot just because it was easier for to learn. But yeah, I've heard some people say that vMix is more intuitive for other things. For me, it wasn't. And based on other non-technical people in my media ministry, they're more comfortable with OBS. Ooh, got the hiccups and burped at the same time, so excuse me. JHDB, excuse me. I don't think the Canon went to clean HDMI out until ADD. Okay, well, thank you. Sorry about that. Food Lover, thanks for your channel. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let's go to our next question. So Sincere Tabron, thanks AJ for all you do. Get well soon. Thank you. Suggestions on getting around YouTube's 1,000 subs to go live. There is no 1,000 subscriber rule to live stream unless you're trying to live stream from your phone. That is what the 1,000 is a restriction to. Now, some other people have said this. I haven't tested this. What they've said is go on your phone or tablet, and then instead of opening up YouTube from the app, open it as the desktop site. Then you should be able to live stream. But I can't verify that or say or even recommend that. That's what other people have said. But again, that restriction is only to natively use the YouTube app to stream from. That's what that restriction is on. And just like Richard was saying here in this comment, yes, you can try out vMix for 60 days for free and see what you want to go from that. All right, so now I think we're starting to get some spam on here. So we're going to ignore some people's questions here because I'm seeing the same thing over and over again. So that might be a bot. Coach Manny, thank you so much. This has been worth my time. I appreciate you responding. You're welcome. Soldiers 3000, have I, excuse me, have I used FF Split streaming software? No, I have not. Otis, we're going to try the VST plugins this week. Okay, cool. Let me know. Chuck Taylor, you're welcome. Otis is saying, yes, vMix is intuitive. We use vMix Call and vMix Social. Yeah, vMix Call is something that I would really want to get into, but that requires the next upgrade for vMix, which I think is around like $350 or something like that. What this does is instead of using Zoom, this will give you a dynamic web page that somebody, your caller, can go to with a webcam, and they just will come in as a source. Also, vMix for the 300, like the license that I have for vMix only allows me to have 4 sources, which I don't like. But for the 350, you can have up to 1,000 inputs or sources. And that's about it. So Andrew is asking, he loves my intro music. Tell us about it. My intro music comes from audiojungle.net, where I bought the music there, and they also give you a license. So if anybody gets hit with anything, you actually have a license to use the music. So that's it. Let's jump here because we got a lot of thank yous. So thank y'all for who are saying that. I don't want to bring those up right now. Let's go over here to Rodney Hughes. When I come out of my Mackie Pro FX 12V3 mixer via USB and back into OBS, my gain volume goes down. When I add gain in OBS to compensate, I get some distortion. Can I fix this? I would probably say put a limiter on it. I think there's a limiter filter on it so that it won't cap out like that. That's just my best suggestion. All of my limits and everything are done through the mixer, so I'm not 100% sure why it's doing that. You can also look under, I'm assuming you might be under Windows, but see if you can adjust the input that's on the actual device under Windows, under your sound control. See what that's set to. Epic Nation is asking, how can this be done in OBS? I've done this in a couple of other videos. In OBS, what I would do is do a window capture, but if that doesn't work, do a display capture, and that will show the entire desktop, and you can capture your FaceTime or Zoom, Duo, Hangouts, Microsoft, Meeting, Teams, whatever, and it should work the same way. The Chuck Taylor, I think, is answering a question for somebody. I have a Mevo for personal use. While you can't connect it to a computer, you can create a custom RTMP so that you can stream to restream instead of having to use a paid Vimeo account. Awesome. Thank you for that. Enoch Daniel, hey AJ, Sutton live stream. No, actually, this was, I didn't do on Friday, and I promised everybody I was going to do double this week to make up for me having to cancel the one on Friday because of some tooth pain. And just to let y'all know, y'all seen I haven't been sipping on any juice, so thank y'all for the prayers. It actually is feeling very nice right now, so cool. Or maybe it's the medicine that's finally kicked in. But either way, I'll give you credit for the prayers. I think that's what it did it. I have joined the Media Ministry group. Did you try the new YouTube live streaming where the default key is creating a problem? No. I am on the new YouTube live streaming studio, but I already had these set up a long time ago. So I don't know if I bypass this issue. I don't have an issue with my key. This is the same key I've honestly been using for a year, over a year, and I haven't had any problem. Let's see. Skipping a couple of here. Back to graphics by Winnie Inc. Do capture cards work on the Canon PowerShot? Yeah, honestly, the capture cards are for any video source. Now, I don't know which PowerShot you have, if it gives a clean HDMI out. Your capture card is, unless it has some type of restrictions, like the deck links won't let you hook up the deck link capture cards like I have. I can't connect my PlayStation directly to it because of the HDMI encryption and protection and stuff like that. But any capture card just takes any video input and it will work. That's why certain DVD players, Blu-ray players, you just can't connect it because of security, but for the most part, connecting anything to it should work. Otis, we have the pro version of vMix, is unlimited NDI, social, lower thirds, GT designer. Thanks for all you're teaching us. You're welcome. Otis, that is the one I was thinking about upgrading to, but like I said, I don't try and burn cash. If I go purchase this, it would be because I'm mainly going to use that's going to be my platform of choice for live streaming, and I'm just not there yet, but I will let you know. Sincere Tebron was like, what is my reasoning for using OBS with the A10 Mini Pro and not going live with the A10 Mini Pro? Mainly because of the functionality that this software allows me to do. The A10 Mini, Pro, I can't bring in these chats like this. Software does that. If I don't need any fancy stuff like that, I will just live stream from that. If I want to game, instead of me facing this way because my TV is behind me, I would put this and hook it directly up to my PlayStation and just play it that way, and I would live stream from that directly because I want to bring in a different camera and have all the functions like that. So it's just by choice and what I want to use it for. So that's why I have it like that. Let's jump ahead here. And just thank y'all so much. If you haven't, please make sure you like this video. I really appreciate that. And let's see what else we got going on here. Let me jump over to here. And this comment is saying, hi, I installed the NDI plugin on Windows 10 and the input showed up in OBS, and also I installed a second plugin on my Mac on the second computer to get NDI signal from our PowerPoint slides. Okay, and the second part, so at the time it wasn't in the same local network. The question is, should I reinstall the plugin on the Mac after it did everything in one network? No, you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to reinstall it. But I would say on the Mac as well as on Windows, just make sure you got. Windows would do it. The Mac doesn't. Just make sure that NDI has permission to go through a firewall so that your OS is not blocking it. But you shouldn't have to reinstall it. But make sure you do have the HDX drivers installed or codecs installed, and I think that's it. So let me shout out AJay. Hey AJay, this is AJay. Hi AJay. Have you heard of Sling Studio? If so, do you know a way to connect the Sling to OBS? Thanks. Yes, I've heard of Sling Studio. There's a couple of people that I know that actually use that, and I thought I had my phone on silent, and it's still coming in here. Let's see. Hold on one second. Sorry. Let's see. All right. Let me see. Yes, I have heard of the Sling Studio. Is it a way to connect it? Yes. You would have to do. I think it's an HDMI out on the Sling Studio. If you did, then you would have to connect the HDMI out from the Sling Studio into a capture card on the computer. But I'm not 100% sure if it has HDMI out. Holy Fire Tabernacle. Can I connect my iPad to OBS? Yes, you can. You can use NDI like people have talked about, or there is an actual OBS camera app that's for OBS where for the iPad, to where you can connect it over a cable and it goes directly to the computer, and that will work. I've used that. I haven't done a review of it, but I have purchased it. It does cost, and I think it works good. I think we've almost got caught up to our, so my queue of social mix has caught up to where everybody was at. So I think we went kind of long today, about a little bit over. So thank y'all so much for participating. And my chat stuff is, come on now, chat stuff is not working. Hold on. My Stream Deck has changed what I was trying to do, so my controls aren't there. All right. Thank y'all so much. All right, we had some people said they had to step away, but thank you. We got some other stuff coming up. We have, I posed a question to my Patreon supporters, and to ask them what we're going to do for their suggestions on hardware or software that we're going to use the funds that they provide monthly to either get some new hardware to review or software. That's up to them. You can participate in that if you're a Patreon supporter of as little as $1. You can check that out at patreon.com/AJaytheCEO. We're also doing our first Zoom Bible study at my church this Wednesday. And we're going to see how that goes. I'm going to kind of do a breakdown of that. Let me go back because we got some more comments here. Dalen Lee. Do you recommend using 2 PC setup for presenting and streaming? I think you asked me that, or somebody did. Yes, I recommend that. Anthony, okay, thank you. I would check that. Thanks for all the info you provide. D1, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to say. Guess what, folks? We hit 24,000 subscribers this morning. Thank y'all so much. Really appreciate it. This time last year, believe it or not, we were at 550, and I just got to give all praise and honor to God for that. And thank y'all so much, because obviously I couldn't have subscribed to myself that many times, and I really appreciate that y'all are getting something out of what I'm doing here. This all started as a way to just document the training of what I'm doing for other media ministries, but now, thankfully, it's blessing y'all and helping each one of our ministries reach a whole bunch of other people all over the face of the planet, and I really appreciate that. I mean, at this point, we almost have, if we don't already, I mean, we have some form of e-missionary in every country on the face of the planet, which is humbling to say the least. Really appreciate that. I don't really know what else to say. Besides that, just really appreciate all that y'all are doing. Thank you for the prayers, concerns, reaching out. Thank our moderators that are on the For Me Media Group, because I obviously could not run all that by myself. We are at over 1,100 people in that group now, which is awesome. So we literally, there's somebody in every time zone, so your questions can be answered. And we try to work out as much as we possibly can. We have some, you know what, for those who are here, let me just put it out here right now. I don't want to throw myself up under the bus by doing this, but let me know. I don't think I can do a poll on here. Let me see. I wanted to see if I can actually do something. I don't think it will let me. But what I want to know is, what is some hardware or software that y'all would like me to look into and do a review for y'all? The budget right now is under $400. Please don't mention Wirecast. That's already something in the works. We already know that. We also already have ordered, it's just back order, we're waiting for it to get in, the ATEM streaming bridge. I ordered that once it was announced, so once that comes in, we'll talk about that. But let me know in the comments. Oh, Aaron did? Chuck Taylor, thank you. Aaron's real cool. I just hit him up because he did a video on something that I was getting ready to work on. He did a video on the perfect ATEM Mini, and I was literally getting ready to do a video just like that. So I don't want to steal his thunder, but you know, he's really cool. And for y'all, just sharing some stuff with y'all. I don't believe in competition. I want to encourage any of y'all to kind of do the same stuff that I'm doing. Do a YouTube channel, share, because I'm not meant to reach everybody. All of us are meant to reach some people in some way, shape, or form, and that can benefit. Now, I'm actually taking a sip of this because my throat is dry. My mouth is dry. But I don't believe in competition. I really want us to all help and reach out, and we can all benefit from each other. So let's see what we got so far. So we got Dylan Lee. We have Pro Presenter. Good. I already have that at church, so we can do some more with that. We got saying perhaps a mini cam. Okay. Alicia, hello. Audio mixers. Okay. And like I said, give me some more specific, if you're talking about hardware, give me some more specific stuff as well too. I know I'm building out my rig, my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, so we're working on that as well. And let's see, we got another question here from Michael Graham. Is the Canon Legira HF-R806 camcorder good for church services? Yeah, it is. I think that is the same. That's a different regional version of the R800. So yes, that will work. Anthony was saying Worship Extreme. I have a bunch of stuff with Worship Extreme. So what capacity is that? They're actually, I downloaded Worship Extreme's newest beta, and they have some new features in it that I'm playing around with. So that's going to be cool. Audio filters and OBS. Enoch, yeah, I heard that. We'll work on something like that. Alicia was asking about a hotspot recommendation. Alicia, I sent you something in your reply. There is a hotspot. It's a Netgear one that you need to buy your own SIM card for. Sad thing is, it's about like $300, but I think that one will work. Let's see. Jay Hernandez was asking, did I ever find an audio tech to help us with the audio setup for PNW and live stream? No, actually I haven't. Honestly, what I would probably recommend, because they don't charge, call Sweetwater, because that's who I called when I was having some issues with the X32 Compact. I think they'd be able to help you. Dalen Lee, say I'm giving y'all some extra here because I'm doing good right now. So we're running, normally I only do this for an hour, but we're going to go as long as we possibly can. I know I have to go pick up my daughter's computer for school because they're starting to hand that stuff out for school starting up in September. Do you, I'm assuming you meaning, do you use an audio interface if you are going to use the ATEM? No, you don't have to. It all depends on which one. I'm going with my wireless. I'm plugging directly into the ATEM. When I'm trying to bring in my keyboards and stuff like that, I go through a mixer. But you don't have to. Alicia is saying, ask you now, I want to be able to make a short commercial video for upcoming church events. Okay, I would probably say check out, I haven't done it in a while because of the nature how COVID is and things like that, but I normally would do a live stream of church post-production where I make this stuff, and I actually was doing a pre-production as well with making stuff like this. And I have other videos showing how I've done stuff like that, but we haven't done it in a while, so maybe I'll do something like that in the future. Richard says, we are now using P2Z cameras and vMix for our church streaming. Might be something to cover for others that don't know about them. So handy when short on people, but pricey. Yeah, I agree. Honestly, I want to try and move my church from the Canon G20s to some PTZ cameras for that very same reason. But again, it is pricey. I'm gonna see how that goes. Also, while I have my feet up here, let y'all know, I had a couple of companies reach out for some hardware reviews. So I can't announce them yet until everything is done, but we do have some hardware reviews that some companies want me to look over, and I will let y'all know about that. So be on the lookout for those. Let's go to the other question here. Johan's, any recommendation for Windows 10 for a free video editor? DaVinci Resolve is free. That is what I use. Yep, there is Jay Hernandez. Answer me as well too, saying the very same thing. Michael Graham, what video capture card do you recommend for camcorder live streaming? Michael, internal or external? Let me know. Enoch was saying, you didn't mention the cheap video capture card on the video, I mean on the breakdown. Well, this is the one that I was talking about that I did the review on that broke when I hooked it up. It burnt out when I hooked it into the Ryzen touch. I think that was the problem with it. A bunch of other people have reached out to me saying that they think that I have a bad one because they've been using these for months and haven't had any problem. Now, I did have someone else say that I think it was Elliot, said he had one and he hooked it up into his Mac, and his acted up too. So maybe that's it. But this one was like, at the time it's $13, but this is like $20. You can always check that out as well. But yeah, Michael Graham, let me know. Did you want an internal capture card or external? I like internal. Okay, external said he wants to use that for OBS. The Elgato HD60S is a good one if you can find it. And the AJay UTAP is good, but they've jacked the price of that one to high heaven. That's around like $300 and some odd for that one. But and there's some AverMedia ones, some gaming ones, like a 4K capture card that's external, that you can get for like at a Best Buy or something like that, at Amazon, for like around $120. Would work good as well too. Chuck Taylor, I saw someone in the Facebook group say that they were using the Waze cams. Maybe since they're less than $30, try one of those. Excuse me, with OBS and vMix. Okay, I will look into that, and I think that's enough for today. So thank y'all so much. We're still gonna have a follow-up, another one of these on Friday, like we typically do, as long as something doesn't come up. Got a heavily packed week going on. Sincere Tehran, that is exactly the one that I mentioned, that Nighthawk M1 mobile hotspot. I heard that is very good. Very pricey, but I heard it's very good for that. And that's the same one I sent Alicia about. Roundtable is going to be this Sunday. You have to be a part of the Facebook group for that. Information will be posted maybe on Friday or Saturday about that. And this is the last one. Enoch, we're doing live streaming using Streamlabs and mobile sometimes. Have you tried? Yeah, I have. I haven't used Streamlabs in a while. I used that for my gaming when I was doing gaming, but it should work as well too. So anyway, folks, thank y'all so much for participating. Really appreciate everything. Like I said, the prayers, the concern, the emails, the messages, and all this other stuff. Now, let's do a little housekeeping real quick. I do questions at ajayhomes.com. I'm one person. I am looking at bringing on some other people to help. But please note, because of the amount of emails I get, when you send an email to that, unless I just happen to be sitting in front of my computer, there's a 48-hour turnaround time before I can really respond to that. Because normally my business hours for my business are Tuesday through Thursday. So I'm handling that type of stuff as well as installs. So I'm not ignoring you. I just get around 200 emails a day. So please be patient if you send the email. If you send too much, my email server automatically flags you as spam. So please be patient with the emails. Another thing is, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just telling y'all right now, please do not send me emails or comments saying something as of, hey, you're doing well in YouTube. Why don't you buy my church this camera? Buy me this, buy me that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. That's the quickest way for you to get banned. I don't mind helping, but when you send and blow up my comments in my email expecting me to buy you something, that's not cool, folks. That's not cool. I don't mind helping, and I will help as much as I can, but do not, please don't do that. Please don't do that. And I think that's about it. I don't want to leave this on a down note. I finished making a video for my patrons. We have a bunch of new patrons. I really appreciate that. But I can't add them on here because I can only have 4 inputs on my vMix right now. But thank y'all so much. I know I'm blabbing, but I just want to tell you, like I normally do, if no one has ever told you of all the work that you do at your church or whatever you're doing, I appreciate you. You and others like us, we have been able to sustain our ministries online during these ups and down moments. I appreciate you. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for your effort in trying to learn more and all this other stuff. Really appreciate that. And Thank y'all so much. Love y'all. Y'all have a great day, evening, morning, wherever you are in the face of the planet. And thank you so much. Thanks for watching. This is AJ. We will see you on the next video later.